So, your Whirlpool, Maytag, or Amana washer is flashing an F11 or E11 error, and you're probably wondering what on earth is going on. Well, don't panic. You've come to the right place. Today, we're going to go on a little diagnostic mission to figure out exactly what your machine is trying to tell you and how to fix it. Okay, let's dive right in. Now, the first thing you gotta know is what this error is not. You might be familiar with an F5 or E5 error. That's usually just a simple clog, a drain timeout, but F11 or E11, that's a whole different beast. It's your washer's main brain, the control board, basically screaming that there's an electrical problem, a communication breakdown, happening with the drain pump. All right, before we grab a single tool or take anything apart, let's start at level 1, the easy fixes. These are the super simple, no tools required steps that, who knows, might just solve this thing in the next couple of minutes. First things first, let's do a hard reset, and I mean a real one. Go ahead and unplug the washer from the wall outlet. Don't just count to 10, give it a solid 2 or 3 minutes. This lets the control board's memory totally clear out any weird temporary glitches. Then plug it back in, and right away, try to run a drain and spin cycle and see what happens.
Now look, we're pretty sure this is an electrical thing, but it's always smart to rule out the obvious, right? So just take a quick peek behind the machine. Make sure that drain hose isn't kinked or crushed. Check that the pipe it drains into isn't backed up. And if your washer has one of those little filter cleanouts near the bottom, make sure that's not full of gunk.
Okay, level 1 is done. Moving on to level 2. And listen up, because this next step, it is the most important part of our whole mission. What you hear, or more importantly, what you don't hear, is going to be our biggest clue. It's going to tell us exactly which way to go next. Go ahead and start another drain cycle. Now, I need you to get right down there, put your ear close to the bottom of the washer, and just listen. Listen really, really carefully. We're listening for just one thing. Any sound at all. A hum, a buzz, anything that sounds like that pump is trying to work. And this is the moment of truth. It's our fork in the road. If you hear a humming sound, that's actually good news. It means the pump is getting power, but something's probably just stuck in it. But if you hear complete silence, and this is the most common symptom for an F11 error, well, that confirms it. We're on the hunt for an electrical fault, and our real investigation starts now. So since silence is our biggest clue, that means we're heading into level 3, the electrical investigation. It's time to call in the specialist, our trusty multimeter. We're going to use it to follow the electricity and find out exactly where it's stopping. And I really, really cannot stress this enough. Before you open a single panel, before you touch a single wire, the absolute first thing you must do is unplug that washer from the wall. Seriously, safety is not optional here. Okay, once you've got access to the drain pump, before you even grab your meter, just use your eyes. Look really closely at the little plastic plug that connects the wires to the pump. Do you see any black, burned, or melted spots? How about any green corrosion on the metal pins? Follow those wires back as far as you can. See any spots where they look pinched or broken? All right, now for the live voltage test. And seriously, a big warning here. This means we're working with live electricity. So please only do this if you know what you're doing and are comfortable with the risks. Set your multimeter to AC voltage. You'll plug the pump's connector back in, plug the washer in, and start a drain cycle. Then, very carefully, you'll slide your meter probes into the back of that connector to see if any power is actually getting there. So what are you seeing on that meter? If it's reading around 120 volts, that tells you something huge. It means the main control board is doing its job. It's sending power down to the pump, but the pump just isn't doing anything with it. This test right here confirms that you have a failed drain pump. But what if you get 0 or close to it? Well, that tells a totally different story. It means no power is even making it to the pump in the first place. So the problem isn't the pump itself, it's something upstream. Either the main control board has given up, or there's a break somewhere in the wires between the board and the pump. Okay, unplug that washer again. Super important. We can do one last test to be absolutely sure about the pump. It's called a continuity test. Basically, we're going to use our meter to ask the pump's motor, hey, is your internal wiring still connected or did it burn out? You'll want to set your meter to ohms, that little horseshoe symbol. Then touch your probes to the 2 metal prongs on the pump. A healthy pump will give you a reading somewhere between, say, 10 and 200 ohms. If your meter reads OL, which stands for open loop, or just stays at 0, that's a dead giveaway. The motor inside is fried. The pump is definitely bad. All right, detective, we've gathered all the clues, we've run the tests. Now it's time to open up the case file, connect all this evidence to the right culprit, and make our final diagnosis. This chart basically puts it all together for you. It's super simple. Just find your symptom on the left. Did you have silence and 0 volts? Your problem's the control board. Did you have silence but 120 volts? Or did you get that bad OL reading? You need a new pump. And if you had that humming sound way back at the beginning, you've probably just got a blockage. Find your row, and you've found your solution.
So there you have it. You've got your diagnosis. But the mission's not quite over. The last part of any good mission is the debriefing. Knowing what to do with what you've learned, and just as important, knowing when it's time to call for backup.
Now, listen up. This is a super important pro tip, straight from the field. If you are one of the people who found a burned or melted plastic connector on that pump, you cannot just replace the pump. That heat was caused by a bad connection, and it will destroy your brand new pump too. You have to replace both the pump and the wiring connector. And look, let's be real. There is zero shame in calling for backup. If you weren't comfortable doing that live voltage test, or if you're just not sure you want to start taking your washing machine apart, that's okay. That's what professional technicians are for. Your safety and your peace of mind are way more important. And that's it. You did it. You followed the clues, you ran the tests, and you officially cracked the case of the F11/E11 error. You went from having a problem to being the detective who solved it, and you probably saved yourself a hefty service call fee in the process. So the only question left is, are you ready for your next mission, the repair itself?